you're heavily involved with the nonprofits. Is it true that your PR firms actually represents nonprofits?
Yes, we started years ago wanting to help our friends in the world of philanthropy and charity. Mm-hmm. We built boards. We put hundreds of people a year throughout the country on nonprofit boards. We do networking for them. Many nonprofits, of course, come to our functions and get exposure they couldn't afford to get otherwise because it's free of charge to everyone. And we do their general public relations. We're probably the largest PR firm in the country in representing nonprofits, and it's a way to give back to them, and people come to our tables because they want to be inspired to join organizations or to do something with their lives that they normally wouldn't do. Mm-hmm. And it isn't just talking about the front side of the card, as I said. It's an example of the back. May I use an example? Yeah. We had a man who's CFO of a very large company here that is prominent in the area of buying and selling companies. I said, Dan, let's talk about you. He said, I'm a CFO. You all know what CFOs do. How about the backside of your card, Dan? Well, he said, I love scuba diving. Mm-hmm. And I decided to combine scuba diving with helping the less fortunate. So I went to the VA hospital in West Los Angeles. I said to them, I have scuba diving ability. If you have some patients that are interested in scuba diving, I'll put them in the water at the Port of L.A. or the Port of Long Beach, and I'll train them, and we will scuba dive together. So he said every weekend I take a group of patients out to the waters, and I begin to scuba dive with them. And I said, well, Dan, I think there's probably a little more to your story. Mm-hmm. He began to fall apart. He had tears in his eyes before 30 guests, and he said, all of the patients I deal with have neither arms nor legs. Neither arms nor legs taken from them in combat in Iraq and Afghanistan. Mm-hmm. And we are in the water without those limbs. We communicate with our eyes. Wow. And he said, then I bring them back to the hospital. 30 people around our table began to cry. He cannot tell that story without falling apart himself. The fact that his company does very good work in business and they make the very good dollars, that's why they're there. You hear a story like that, or you hear an accountant who has his own firm, Hispanic, who told us about his sister who had gotten a doctorate, worked for Amgen, was in Washington getting approval for cancer drugs, decided at the last moment to change her plan so that she could be home with her children. She got on the plane. The plane crashed in the Pentagon on 9/11. Wow. He tells us how all that happened and how it impacted and the effect it had on our people who counted their blessings when they listened to that story. Is one reason why we do these tables hundreds of times a year.